For years, one message echoed across the Middle East. An American aircraft carrier could one day be sunk in the Persian Gulf. It became a symbol of military rhetoric, repeated in speeches, military exercises, and strategic messaging. But when tensions escalated and both sides entered direct confrontation, the real test was no longer political language, it was military reality. To understand what happened, we first need to understand why aircraft carriers occupy such a unique position in modern warfare. An aircraft carrier is not simply a large ship. It is a moving airbase protected by layers of defensive systems, escort vessels, surveillance aircraft, submarines, electronic warfare platforms, and satellite intelligence. Long before any missile approaches its target, multiple detection networks are already tracking launches, calculating trajectories, and preparing defensive responses. Destroying such information requires far more than possessing long-range missiles. It demands continuous intelligence, accurate targeting, real-time tracking, and the ability to overcome several defensive layers simultaneously. Iran has invested heavily in what military analysts often describe as an asymmetric naval strategy. Instead of relying on one decisive weapon, the concept combines cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, drones, fast attack boats, and coordinated swarm tactics designed to overwhelm defensive systems through sheer complexity. The objective is not necessarily to overpower advanced defenses with superior technology, but to saturate them with multiple threats arriving from different directions at nearly the same time. On paper, this approach appears strategically sound, because even the most advanced defensive system has finite resources and reaction time. However, strategy and execution are rarely identical. Launching missiles is only one part of the equation. Successfully striking a moving aircraft carrier requires locating its precise position across hundreds of kilometers of open ocean, while that carrier continuously changes speed, direction, and formation. Without reliable real-time surveillance, satellites, airborne reconnaissance, and accurate targeting information, even advanced missiles struggle to achieve their intended effect. Military capability is therefore measured not only by weapons themselves, but also by the information systems guiding them. Another important lesson often overlooked is that perception has become almost as valuable as firepower. Modern conflicts unfold simultaneously on the battlefield, across diplomatic channels, and throughout the global information environment. Public claims, official statements, and strategic messaging influence domestic audiences, international partners, financial markets, and military decision-making alike. Every announcement during a conflict becomes part of a broader competition over credibility and strategic influence. Understanding that information dimension is essential because in today's geopolitical landscape, narratives can shape perceptions long before independent verification becomes available. The most revealing lesson from this episode is not whether missiles were launched or how quickly official statements appeared. It is the growing gap between military capability, strategic messaging, and verifiable outcomes. In modern warfare, governments compete not only through military operations, but also through information. Every public announcement, every battlefield claim, and every official denial becomes part of a much larger contest over credibility. Whoever shapes the first global narrative often gains an immediate political advantage, even before independent evidence becomes available. At the same time, military planners cannot afford to dismiss any potential threat. Even when an operation falls short of its intended objective, professional armed forces treat every engagement as an opportunity to learn. Missile trajectories, electronic signatures, defensive reactions, communication networks, and response times all become valuable intelligence. Every encounter provides lessons that influence future doctrine, procurement decisions, and operational planning. Modern militaries continuously adapt because today's limitations may become tomorrow's capabilities. This is why strategic competition never truly pauses. Periods of reduced fighting are often used to strengthen logistics, improve technology, expand production, and develop more capable systems. Military modernization continues long after headlines disappear. Every nation studies recent operations carefully, searching for weaknesses to correct and advantages to preserve. History repeatedly shows that the next conflict is frequently shaped by the lessons learned from the previous one. Another important lesson concerns the role of aircraft carriers themselves. Some analysts argue that precision missiles and unmanned systems are making carriers increasingly vulnerable. Others maintain that these vessels remain among the most flexible military platforms ever constructed because they combine mobility, air power, intelligence, logistics, and command capabilities within a single protected formation. The continuing debate illustrates a broader reality. Modern warfare is becoming a contest between rapidly evolving offensive technology and equally sophisticated defensive systems. Neither side remains static for long. Ultimately, I believe this story is about far more than one disputed military claim. It demonstrates how modern conflicts are fought across multiple dimensions simultaneously: military operations, intelligence gathering, economic resilience, technological innovation, diplomacy, and information warfare. Success increasingly depends not only on possessing advanced weapons, but also on integrating surveillance, communication, logistics, and decision-making into a single coherent strategy. As geopolitical competition continues to evolve, one principle remains constant. Military strength begins with technology, but lasting strategic influence depends on credibility. In an age where information travels around the world within minutes, governments are judged not only by what they promise, but by what independent evidence ultimately confirms. Understanding that distinction may be one of the most important lessons modern geopolitics has to offer.